Here I want to look at some questions that may, if you are willing to contemplate what the honest answers are, allow you to develop the wise part of your mind. So let us here just take a minute here to introduce you to this great man. This is Mr. Aaron T. Beck, or Dr. Aaron Beck. All right, still with us today, as of 2020, as far as I'm aware. Still going strong. He founded the Beck Institute over in the States. I'm sure his daughter now is running that. I think her name is Judith Beck. All right, listen, is my teaching style exactly the same as Aaron Beck's? Absolutely not. All right, Judith? No, absolutely not. My teaching style was based upon my life experiences. His teaching style was based upon his life experiences. All I'm doing essentially here is building upon the shoulders of giants, acknowledging all of the main ideas that Aaron Beck presented to the world and adding my own unique spin on things. I guess what this might mean is that at some point in the future, you could be doing exactly the same. You could be taking some of his teachings, some of my teachings, and who knows, possibly even be out there somewhere presenting some of these concepts to the world, putting your own spin on things. All right, it's an option that you have. So, you're only going to do that, however, if you grow your cognitive capacity. Right? Thinking is fluid, isn't it? It's kind of like a bit of elastic. What happens if you stretch? What's a good example I could use here? Right. In fact, I was going to use an elastic band. I was going to say, what happens if you stretch an elastic band? Well, it actually goes back to its original form. So that actually does not paint a good picture as to the principle I want to portray here. Instead, the illustration that I'm going to use, and look how I'm quickly contemplating and trying to work out what I'm going to say next, a little bit of plasticine or Play-Doh. All right, this is a far better example. Do you know that stuff that you get, kids play with? They can mould it into different shapes. I used to have this when I was a kid. Right, I used to get told off because I'd get bits in my mum's carpet and stuff like that. So you get this tub of Play-Doh, and it's kind of, you'd mould it into different shapes, and you could stretch it and stretch it and stretch it. And once you've stretched it, you could roll it right out. It doesn't go back to its original form. It stays as it is until you decide to remold it some more. And this is kind of like our mind. Even if you don't like what I'm saying, even if you disagree with some of the things that I'm saying, rather than just rejecting, become crystal clear on the reason why. All right, develop a more critical mind rather than a, conflictive mind. We do this as we grow our cognitive capacity. So here, all I want to do, I want to now pass the baton over to you. These questions are designed to test how cognitively flexible you are. And there's no right or wrong, all right? You will just simply get to now see this for yourself. The question here is, how much room is there for new ideas or degrees of truth inside of your existing frame of reference? Your frame of reference is just simply everything that you've learned in life up until now. All of your memories, all of the assumptions that you've made, all the information that you have stored inside of your mind, all of this gives you a frame of reference. So when you like things, when you dislike things, when you agree with things, when you disagree with things, you only do so in response to what you've already come to believe or perceive as being right or wrong or good or bad. All right? We grow and we become significantly more cognitively flexible when we learn how to put our own prejudices and biases down and become more open to discovering new perspectives and new degrees of truth. All right, some people say, but what is truth? I don't think that truth exists. Oh, shut up. Right, you're watching a video right now. That's true. You're hearing me speak right now. That's true. There is oxygen, breath in your lungs. That is true. All right, you are a certain year old. That is true. All right, you have learned something in life. That is true. Of course, truth exists. All right, we become better poised and positioned to grow and develop in life when we learn how to reflect and contemplate and review some of the memories that we have for the purposes of and becoming a little bit clearer in what's actually true. All right, there's what we think is true, and then there's what actually is true. All right, so these questions are not designed for you to give an opinion, right? Your opinions are relevant in considerations of these. This is about you just thinking. It's about you contemplating, reflecting. See if you can identify or even just consider what might be true. Where do your thoughts come from? Where do your thoughts come from? Have you ever thought about where your thoughts actually come from? Are you putting all of the thoughts that you think into your head each day? Is someone else? Is there some other spiritual force at play in your life that you have no control over? Where do your thoughts come from? What is your ideology? What is your worldview in response to this? How do you know that you're right? Is there any wiggle room for you perhaps not being 100% right? Question number 2. How could you begin to define your identity without limits or without labels? So it might be the case that you would define yourself as being a mum or a parent or a professional or an expert, or as I'm just me, I'm just a human being. What does that mean? Like, what does that mean? How could you define your identity without limits? Some people these days will say, I am a Christian, I'm a Muslim, I am gay, I'm straight, I'm was it LBGTQ or whatever it is. I am that, I'm this. That's all limits, it's all restrictions. So many people define themselves by terminologies that give them no wiggle room for growth. Right? What words did I use earlier on? I said, well, I am growing, I'm improving, I'm developing, I'm increasing. Right? I'm always changing my mind about something. It's a pretty good example of cognitive flexibility. Right? When people say, I'm a mum, it's who I am. I'm anxious, that's who I am. I'm a Christian, that's who I am. I'm gay, I was born this way. Okay, fine, fantastic. Not an identity level. All right, you can be or do whatever you want with your life. Just acknowledge that it's a conscious choice that you're making. It's something that you want to do. Right? It doesn't matter what you believe, what you practice, how you are, what your sexuality is. All these things are irrelevant. Just take ownership of the fact that you're making a choice. It's okay. Make peace with it. Move on. In terms of our identity, we cannot afford to be boxed in. We can't afford to limit ourselves. It only crushes and undermines our own self-esteem. All right, come on, I'm sharing this with you to build you up, not tear you down. So, how could you begin to define your identity without limits? I define myself as being a relatively compassionate man, a caring man, a kind man, a generous man, a sincere man, an imperfect man. I'm growing, I'm developing, I'm improving. I'm creative, right? Am I being subjective? Of course I am. Am I being objective? As objective as what I know how to be. Right? Are you more objective than me? Well, it doesn't matter, does it? You'll never know, I'll never know. Right? All we ever have to contend with is our own perspective and our own understanding. So, in what aspects of your life do you actually have peace of mind? But I guarantee there's at least one area of your life in which you've got peace of mind, which means you already have a strategy for being at peace of mind. All right. If you can identify at least one area in your life where you've got peace of mind, then we can, at some point, learn how to transfer this across to other areas. You know how to do it in one area, which means you will know how to do it in others if you were to direct some energy and focus and effort in this direction. In what ways does your life serve a greater purpose? It either does or it doesn't. You have the final say in the matter. Your life either has a purpose or it doesn't. And you might say, but I don't believe there is any purpose to life. Well, I've got a purpose in my life. Most people that I know live purposeful lives. If you decide that you have no purpose in life, well, your decision's already been made. Or are you willing to consider that something else might be true? Are you willing to consider that you could actually become better? Are you willing to consider that you could actually become a significant role model for other people in the village or the hometown or the city or the society in which you live, perhaps in your place of work? Have you ever considered that you could actually be being so much better for some other people in your life? Have you ever considered that you are actually the kind of person who could become a real role model for other people, for the younger generations, possibly even for the older generations? Because I don't know if you've noticed, but there's really quite a severe lack of role models throughout society today. What's stopping you from being one of these role models other than you? Or have you made a decision that you can't be a role model? You've just not got it in you. Either way, you've already decided. Or would you be okay changing your mind? Do you see what I'm doing here? Come on, I'm getting in your face here just a little bit, but I want to provoke you to thinking about yourself in different ways. Because if I can provoke you to think about yourself in different ways, then you know how to think about yourself in different ways, which means that on some level, you're going to naturally then see how it is that you can start provoking other people to think in other ways. All right? When people focus just on themselves, they sometimes become immersed in themselves, immersed in the little bubble of their own lives. All right? Look at how they feel and what they think, and then spiral out of control. When we can learn to redirect our focus onto other people or society at large, or how we can start being better and living life in a more purposeful way, then we start living life in a more purposeful way. It's just a perspective. It's just a perception. It's just a choice. The mind can do this. It's honestly that flexible. This is some pretty good news. I don't know if you've ever heard this said to you before, but it's good news. It's possible. What don't you know that you really need to know today? Or do you know it all? Right? Are you the labels that you've put on yourself? Are you the labels that other people have put on you? So how can you peacefully coexist with uncertainty in consideration of the only thing that you can be certain of, and that is that someday you're going to croak it. Do you want to make the most of your life up until then, or do you want to roll around in the dirt having thoughts, feelings, feeling sorry for yourself, or whatever? The choice is entirely up to you, for you do, my friend, have the final say in the matter. All right, come on. Listen, I come in peace because, listen, I'm peacefully coexisting with uncertainty. All right, you can too. So upon what basis do you make important decisions? Do you base your decisions upon facts, upon statistics, upon how you feel, upon what you think, upon what you believe? Or do you base your decisions upon what's good, upon what's virtuous, upon what's wise, upon what's value-adding? What do you base your decisions upon? Do you have any strategy for making decisions or not? All right. Listen, it's entirely up to you. I ask you these questions, all right, and of course I'm presenting them in a bit of a, countercultural way. But listen, I want to get in your face. I want you to get you thinking about this stuff. All right. Why? There's no mandate in most parts of society that confronts people with questions like this. Right? Most of the self-help psychology disciplines these days are, you can do it, just love yourself, unleash the power within and all will be well. Go and speak to someone and they'll do some healing on you, or twiddle some crystals or something like that. Right? There's not too many people out there today who are saying, listen, take responsibility for your life. The second that you do, you will become empowered. You will enjoy life. Life is good. It can be so much better than this. Life can be so much better than this if you will, but take responsibility for making the decisions that you actually want to make and pursuing the path that you really want to take and doing the things that only you can do and giving value back in the way that only you can give. Becoming the difference in the world that you want to see happen. You can wait for someone else to make the change, or you can become the change. You have the final say in the matter. Look, I'm not here trying to inspire you, not trying to motivate you. However, if you feel inspired, if you feel a little bit motivated, fantastic. The question is, what are you going to do about it? What next? So what?